We got Virginia Tech taking on Miami, two of the ACC's most hyped up teams in the offseason. And you got two teams right now that are heading in different directions in terms of how they've been able to handle high expectations. Miami, they've been very good. They're undefeated up to this point. They've dominated everybody. Virginia Tech, on the other hand, they've been very disappointing. They already got two losses. Vanderbilt, Rutgers, their rushing attack is struggling. Well, their run defense is struggling. They have had one of the worst run defenses in the ACC this year. And you're going up against a Miami team that has a lot of good running backs. You know, you got Damian Martinez. You got freshman running back Jordan Lyle, who's averaging 8 yards per attempt. The Hurricanes should be able to run all over the Hokies defense. And Cam Ward, he looks like a strong contender to win the Heisman Trophy this year. 14 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He currently has the second best quarterback rating in America at 94.4. And Virginia Tech's success in this game is going to heavily depend on how effective they can run the football. They run the football 57% of the time, 33rd most in FBS. They're 38th in rushing yards per game at 188. They got a really good running back who had 7 touchdowns over his last 3 games. He scored 3 last week against Rutgers. And Kyron Drones, he's an inconsistent passer, but he's a really good runner. But for Virginia Tech, you need a lot to go right for you and able to win this game. Okay, your pass protection has broken down on several of occasions. You had 8 sacks that you've allowed up to this point. Kyron Drones, he's been a below average passer. He already has tossed 3 interceptions. He's completing under 60% of his passes. And a big key to Virginia Tech coming into this season, which was going to define how good they were going to be this year, was the growth of Drones as a passer. And so far, we haven't really seen any improvement. Plus, they're walking into this game with some of their best receivers being injured. We don't know the status for them for this game, so that's not going to help the passing game at all. And with your run defense being 95th and rushing yards per game allowed, it's just hard for me to see you winning this game. Miami's defense is really stout up front. They got a top 10 run defense. They allow 69 rushing yards per game, which is going to make things really difficult for an offense that hasn't shown the ability to be efficient throwing the football. But although this is a game that you look at on paper and you see the statistics, it's so one-sided in Miami's favor. As a Miami fan, me personally, I don't feel overly confident about the Hurricanes winning this game because we could see a Mario Cristobal special. And one thing about Mario Cristobal is that he'll have you ready to play for the big games, but when it comes to going up against inferior opponents, especially when Miami is going into this game as a 19-point favorite, you know, these games tend to be a little bit weird for Miami under Cristobal. They tend to play down the competition pretty often. And, you know, it may look like Virginia Tech has no chance to win this game, but this game could get played and we see Miami in a dogfight. You know, college football is weird, but I still like Miami to win. But I don't think it's going to be a dominant win as expected. I do see Virginia Tech covering that 19-point spread. Only because, you know, based off the history that Miami has had, I've been too accustomed to seeing this team lose games like this. You know, they get a lot of momentum early. Everybody's talking about them. Everybody's saying how Miami's a top 10 team, how they're going to win the ACC. And this is the perfect letdown spot for Miami. And I've seen it so many times as a diehard fan of this school that they get people talking about them, and then all of a sudden they get a reason to not feel as high on them as what you felt before. But I still see them winning this thing. 28-17 is going to be my score prediction for this game. I can see this being a competitive game for 3 quarters, and then Miami slowly and methodically pulls away in the end, because Virginia Tech, they are a solid team from a talent standpoint. They do have a lot of experience, which is a really weird and shocking to see them struggle so early this season, because normally when you return as much production as what they do from last season, and you got a head coach that is going into his third year, this is normally a breakout year for schools like this. So for them to be struggling, having problems stopping the run, you know, like their offense having turnover problems, the old line not being that good, even though you got a lot of veterans on the old line, you know, this team just has been a massive letdown. And unless they can get some efficient passing offense going, you really aren't going to have that much of a chance being able to win this game with how stout Miami is defensively. And that's why I trust Miami to not let the Hurricanes fan them down in a game like this. You know, that's the difference between this year's Miami team and the past Miami teams that we've seen. Their defense is dependable. This defense is truly good at stopping the pass and the run. And you got Cam Ward at quarterback. And with him having the better quarterback play of the two QBs in this game that we've seen up to this point, it's more reasons to believe Miami won't sell this game than it is to believe that we see a Mario Cristobal, you know, special and this team underperforms and they play down the competition. So I'll take Virginia Tech to cover plus 19, but I'll take Miami to win outright.